the world begins to whisper, not about wars, not about kings, but about a name that shouldn't exist. Ainsul Gown. In the wake of the Lizardman campaign, Nazarick begins its next step: send a message, a declaration, not with words, but with overwhelming power. And so the stage is set for our favorite villainous Lich and his guild mates to take over the new world. But let's get to the story. Demiurge, the infernal tactician, is chosen to carry out the operation. His mission? Spread terror and leave behind no misunderstanding. He travels in secret to the Rheasti's kingdom, a kingdom rotting with political division, weak leadership, and arrogant nobles. Oh, and did I mention they also had a terrible undead problem in the southwest region? But he doesn't go there. Instead, he heads straight to the capital city, which is currently occupied by a large number of adventurers eager to make a buck off the undead outbreak. And here's the kicker: he won't fight any of them. You see, Demiurge isn't looking for trouble. He's looking for an opportunity to spread despair and paint it as something other than Nazarick. After all, the whole point of this little excursion is to strike fear into the hearts of men and claim it as a new entity known as Jaldabaoth, aka Demiurge. He finds the perfect opportunity in the form of two quarreling nobles, Bergame and Liger. While they debate on how to handle the undead situation, Demiurge strikes, creating a massive monster that easily overwhelms the poorly trained royal guards. He then proceeds to wreak havoc on the city, but only on the outskirts. Just enough damage to grab everyone's attention, but not enough to cause too much destruction. Then he disappears into the shadows, leaving behind nothing but a sense of foreboding and a few stray goblin corpses. See, Demiurge isn't just a strategist, he's an artist, and his masterpiece is fear itself. Now, the aftermath is pure pandemonium. As Demiurge watches from afar, amused by the chaos he has caused, people start talking about a mysterious demon lord named Jaldabaoth, a mastermind lurking in the shadows, commanding monsters at will. No one knows where he came from or what his true motives are. All they know is that they need help. And who better to provide it than the legendary hero Momin? That's right, folks. Our boy's getting a well-deserved vacation after the Lizardman fiasco. He spends his days lazing around Nazarick, playing with his toys, and watching his favorite shows. Yeah, he even has a TV now. Turns out being an overpowered god has its perks, but his moment in the spotlight is about to come again. Meanwhile, back in Rheasti's, the civilians are panicking, the nobles are squabbling, and the king is trying to hold it all together while secretly weeping inside because he doesn't have a clue what to do. But then, like a beacon of hope in the darkness, Momin appears riding his trusty steed. The villagers cheer, the nobles bow, and the king offers him a spot by his side. Sure, he may not know exactly what's going on, but hey, he's a hero, right? He'll figure it out. Well, maybe not that last part, but he does have a pretty solid plan to deal with the immediate situation. He'll lead a party of adventurers outside the city walls to confront the source of all this evil, Jaldabaoth himself. But here's the twist. He doesn't actually believe in Jaldabaoth either. See, Ains is still watching, and as far as he's concerned, the puppet show has just begun. Back in Nazarick, the Great One is pleased. His plan is working perfectly, and all he has to do is sit back and watch the world burn. He may not be a hands-on ruler, but he sure knows how to micromanage. With a flick of his wrist, he conjures up a giant screen to monitor everything happening in Rheasti's. From the movements of his pieces on the board to the reactions of the NPCs, nothing escapes his all-seeing gaze. And let me tell you, he is loving every second of it. As Momin charges into battle against Jaldabaoth's forces, Ains watches with amusement. It's almost like watching a child at play. He sees Momin struggling to defeat Jaldabaoth's minions and realizes that his hero isn't quite as invincible as he thought. In fact, he's starting to look kind of pathetic. But that's okay. Ains knows that this is all part of the show. People love their heroes, even if they're not very good at being heroic. So he lets the charade continue. Meanwhile, back at Nazarick, Cebus is taking care of business in his own way. He receives orders from Ains to gather intel on the situation in Rheasti's. And let me tell you, he does not disappoint. We're talking top-notch espionage, infiltration, and interrogation. No one is safe from Cebus's relentless pursuit of information. He's like a ninja, except instead of throwing stars, he throws magic and intimidation. With a few well-placed spells and a lot of menacing stares, Cebus manages to extract the information Ains needs to keep tabs on the kingdom. He then returns to Nazarick and briefs the Great One on his findings. Together, they devise a plan to keep the chaos in Rheastais going strong. Ains is impressed with Sebus's work. He may not be the most loyal of the Guardians, but he sure is proving to be a useful tool. Ains decides to reward Sebus with a rare praise and a pat on the head. Hey, it's not easy being a villain sometimes. You gotta keep track of your henchmen's feelings, you know? Over time, things in Rheastais grow worse and worse. The civil unrest continues. The economy tanks and the king's authority crumbles. It is like watching a slow-motion train wreck, and Ains is sitting in the front row with a bucket of popcorn. He sees Momin struggling to keep the peace and realizes that his hero is not quite as powerful as he thought. But he also realizes that this is exactly what he wanted. The whole point of this exercise was to create fear and uncertainty in the kingdom, and so far, so good. As the chaos mounts, Ains grows impatient. He wants to see more fear, more despair, more panic. So he takes matters into his own hands. Using his magic, he sends a plague through the kingdom, killing thousands and bringing the already strained medical system to its knees. He watches as the people suffer, and he loves every minute of it. This is what he does best, sowing discord and reaping the benefits. Suddenly, he notices something interesting. Despite the suffering and death, there is still hope in the kingdom. Momin is still standing, protecting the people and offering a shoulder to cry on. And as Ains watches, he sees something that makes him pause. He sees the admiration in the eyes of the people as they look at Momin. He sees the gratitude, the respect, the love. For a moment, Ains feels something stir within him, something he hasn't felt in a long time. He feels jealous. It's a strange, unfamiliar feeling, and he quickly tries to shake it off. He is Ainswul Gaun, the supreme being, the ruler of Nazarick, and he doesn't have time for silly emotions. But the seed has been planted. The world may fear and loathe Nazarick, but it also admires and respects Momin. And Ains can't help but wonder why. What makes his guardian so appealing to these pathetic mortals? Is it his strength, his kindness, his unwavering resolve? Or is it something else entirely? Ains doesn't know, but he's determined to find out. After all, he wants to understand the world he rules over, even if it means putting his own feelings aside for a moment. But that moment doesn't last long. As the story progresses, Ains will continue to manipulate events in Rheastais, keeping the kingdom in turmoil and testing the limits of Momin's heroism. And as he does, he will continue to struggle with his own feelings of inadequacy and jealousy. Will he be able to overcome them and embrace his role as the Great One? Or will they consume him and destroy everything he's built? Only time will tell.